You're listening to the Align to Amplify podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Sarah and Haley.
Okay, welcome to Align to Amplify. I am Sarah Garrison, and
I'm Haley Lewis, and we are here today with our special first guest ever, Amee Curtis. She is the owner of the Synergy Design Firm and the founder of the SDF Collective, where we all met, where Sarah and I do our co-working, our hub, power working, and all of our masterminds and classes, and the podcast recording room right here.
Yes.
We're in the SDF Collective. And so we knew that Amee needed to be our very first guest because she's the one that kind of planted the seed when we did the tour of the collective. She's like, now there's a recording room and you can do a podcast. And we're like, oh, Sarah, we can do a podcast.
that's where it all began.
And of course you're like, yeah. And then I'm like, how do you do a podcast? We still don't know how to do a podcast.
No.
But we're getting there.
Yeah.
Everything is baby steps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amee gets to see our janky duct tape and WT-40 setup.
Oh, you know what? When I do photography, it is Scotch tape all the way.
I love it. Well, okay, so you have to get creative.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you know, so Amee has a background very similar to mine in the creative industry. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you got started and how you landed in the crazy creative field?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, talk about a circuitous route. So I come from a very creative family. My father's a set designer. My mom can pretty much do anything. My sister was just a fantastic artist. And so the art has always been there. So as you grow up, you're always looking for ways to express that art. I got into theater, got into television. I was on a TV show when I was in high school. One day I was super annoyed by one of my co-stars. And
Which happens.
very often, yeah. So I asked the producer that day if I could leave the green room and maybe follow him around. And I think, honestly, she was driving him a little batty that day, too, because he was like, sure, kid, come on. And that sure, kid, come on literally changed my life. I walked out of that studio that day and was like, this is what I'm going to do with my life. I knew it. So jump forward a couple of years. I'm in college. I went to television and production school, focused on producing, graduated there, and spent a few years doing music videos in the Portland area. Super fun. Loved every minute of it.
Like independent band music videos?
Like artists that wanted music videos, and they would hire us, and the whole production team would come out. We'd plan it. We'd organize it. It was a really fun time. I missed the theatricality, though, that being a little bit more hands-on provided me. As a producer, you're basically like a nanny. You are organizing.
Glorified babysitting is what it's all about.
For real. It is your job to make sure everything is in line, that everyone has what they need, that you're making the right connections. And don't get me wrong, for somebody that really loves puzzles, it worked for me for a while. And I thought, you know what? I really love the aspect of the advertising that music videos provided, but I liked the theatricality and the more hands-on aspect that I experienced while in theater, right? So I was like, I'm going to start a advertising agency, right? Synergy Design Firm. And of course, around that time, I had just had our son, and, you know, obviously you've got like 2 nickels to rub together at that time, especially since I had walked away from the film industry. And I was looking for somebody who could do a logo and a website, and I was being quoted like $4 or $5 grand, right? And at the time I was like, I don't have that. That's just ridiculous. I couldn't find anyone that would work with me, take payments, or cut me a break at all. And I thought, you know what? Screw this. I'm a smart girl. I can learn. So I legit taught myself web design, graphic design, everything I needed just to start my own business. And a friend of mine who was also struggling at the time was like, can you help me? And of course, I'm a big bleeding heart. So I was like, yes, 100%. I finished with her, and then one of her friends, and then their friend, and then another friend, and another friend. And before I really had even recognized it, I had filled this vacuous hole that was really needed, was, having an affordable access to what businesses need to start out with. And that is really how Synergy Design Firm came to be. I think some of the best businesses in the world were started with very different intentions. And it was only through being open-minded and willing to just help somebody that you truly find that creative aspect and a different path. So that's how that got started.
I love the whole blending of the entertainment aspect of your background. And then you're recognizing that entertainment can be used as a marketing vehicle to sell and promote.
100%.
And then kind of bringing, I don't know, like what do you call it? Like
There's
when you like splice
standard.
them together in biology, like, like you're doing like the plants, and it's like, so you've got the
like
root.
these hybrids.
Yeah, you've got this root in marketing with this entertainment blossom aspect. And then this whole, okay, this is where I love the whole entrepreneurial spirit of Amee is like, okay, now I need to figure out how to do this. And it doesn't exist. Okay, or I can't have access to it. I'm going to just figure it out.
Yeah.
And make access to it for people that don't have
Yes.
access. That's amazing.
Yeah, I have the mental capacity, maybe not so much the physical capacity, but I have the mental capacity to learn large amounts very, very quickly. And so being able to take that in and then kind of dispel it to people who don't have the time, don't have the money, don't have the resources, it's a very near and dear subject to my heart, which is why truly I made a point back then to always be the break that I couldn't find for myself.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That is why at Synergy Design Firm, I refuse to charge industry standard prices. Our websites, we charge, I think, $125 a page. That's it. So you can literally walk away with a full website for maybe $300, $400. And
I have some referrals for you. I got some people that have been reaching out to me, and I'm like, I can't. And they're like, I can't afford a $5,000 website. And I'm like, I'm not the person. I used to do it, but I don't have the patience for it.
So here's the thing. I make websites, and I can't even make them myself for that.
Yeah.
So, hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Amee.
Yeah.
Amee.
And,
Amee.
again, I was, once Synergy got up and running, because like I said, it's a creative agency that specializes in visual assets for small businesses and nonprofits. I was that person running around all over the place looking for affordability, like affordable studio space to rent for their shoots or their films or their commercials. I was the one looking for, because again, very much that producer mindset of, okay, I have to put all these pieces together. And you're dealing with the models and the catering services. You're dealing with the insurance for the day, the permits for the day. It gets really expensive, and by the time you're done with it, there's nothing left in their budget to even pay you. So one day I made a really glib comment about how I wish that there was a place that somebody could do it all without having to go everywhere. Because fun fact about me, I actually hate driving. It's so tedious to me. I'm just like, get me there. I don't want to do it. Thank God I have a husband that loves to drive, so I'm taking
Driver.
For real. And he's a good driver too, because he opens my door.
Oh my
And,
gosh,
if my
that's
hands
super
are full,
sweet.
he'll even buckle me. It's like full princess mode. It's ridiculous.
Oh, you have a one.
You're
Keep
kind
that
of living
one.
the life there.
Yeah, keep that one.
For reals, I'm not starting over because this one is trained excellent. But, so I was getting lunch at Sunny Hans one day with a friend. We saw this building, actually, for lease. And I've grown up around this area. I used to do some of my producing work sitting at Cafe Delirium across the street. And so, again, I've always loved this building. And, you walk by a building and you kind of put yourself in there. You're like, ooh, if that was mine, what would it look like? What would it be? And I told myself, I was like, well, I'm just going to take a look. I'm going to call the leasing agent and just, what harm can it do? It's like the biggest lie any woman has ever said to themselves. And then 2 weeks later, I had keys to the building and a bit of a stomach ache.
Oh my goodness.
gosh.
Idea to having the building in 2 weeks. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was, and that's the beauty of these moments in life is you have to just simply be ready for them. Creativity is not always about planning. Sometimes it's about reacting. You know,
And recognizing the opportunity when it arises.
Absolutely. And I mean, that speaks to so much more than business. I think it speaks to a lot more. But in this situation, luckily, I was prepared. And, you know, we jumped in. We had 45 days to renovate 5,000 square feet, knocked it out, and we've been open ever since. And so far, the community has absolutely just embraced us. Because, again, people need access. Money cannot always be the gatekeeper to creativity.
Right. And so let's kind of jump into the SDF Collective, because it's more than just a co-working space.
Oh,
You are offering a ton of value to the community, to the creative community, and businesses that come in contact with you. So okay, you have the building now.
Yeah.
Did you have the dream of the SDF Collective when you got the building? Or did that come out of, oh man, what am I going to do with 5,500 square feet?
Yeah, no. Again, it was kind of a glib comment that I had made at one of my photo shoots about a year prior. So, I mean, it had been percolating in the back of your head. But, you know, you're running a business, you've got a kid, you've got life, and, you know, in my case, a autoimmune issue. So it was always back there. It was, wouldn't it be nice? And then as everyday problems would pop up, it was almost like I was filing them in the back of my mind saying, okay, if I could fix this, this is how I would do it. And then suddenly I woke up one day and I found out, I was like, okay, you have a big building now. Surprise. Don't fail. So, you know, having the experience firsthand of running businesses and then having the experience firsthand of being the shooter on film sets and on photo shoots and ad campaigns, being involved in theater and film and, you know, marketing and advertising, it gave me a very awesome head start on the space and what I would do with it.
Okay, so outline to everyone who's never heard of the SDF Collective, what is it and what do you offer?
You know, it took me a good year to figure out how to answer that question because we are so many things to so many people. But ultimately, it boils down that we are a community resource for creatives and entrepreneurs alike. We are a home for creativity and the creation that we need to thrive. Okay? Now, again, that can be a personal project or it might be something for your business. You know, in this space, we can facilitate graphic design, animation, podcast, hair, makeup, special effects makeup, costuming. We can do augmented reality, AI. My God, so many things. And the list is ever growing. I mean, we just added the collective audio side of it. So now in the evening times, bands can come in. It's kind of like I'm going back to my roots here a little bit. But bands can come in and do full album recordings here in the space. Jory, our audio engineer, can mix, master, record, and do all of that in-house as well. EPKs is what I would do for them, as well as music videos can be shot here as well. So we are simply what people need. In addition to all the things that we offer, I've taken it one step further and I've removed the barrier of finance, meaning I actually will provide cameras, lights, gimbals, lavaliers, the equipment. Upstairs we have an edit lab, and all of the computers are brand new Macs, and they come fully loaded with every single Adobe program, as well as their free counterparts. Because we may not always learn on the best of the best. We might have learned on Inkscape or GIMP or something else. And making that transition is just made a little bit easier when you can still work and then explore when you have the time.
I know that when we set up for this podcast, we dive into Amy's cage of equipment.
Oh, we had our fail on the first set of equipment, but that was our fault, not the equipment's fault.
Right. Right.
We just realized what we needed was not necessarily what was working.
Naturally. And then you'll love this then. Come September, we're actually introducing the new creative trainers. So I modeled this entire business after a gym. And gyms have personal trainers that help you understand the equipment to best fit your needs and goals. We are going to mimic that, and we're actually going to have creative trainers here so that they can help you understand the equipment and how best to serve your goals.
When are they doing the podcasting part? Because we need to sign up for that.
September 1st, it rolls out September 1st. And I'm telling you, this place is like a little jewel. It's so multifaceted that there's so many sides to this. I mean, there's the space, there's the availability, there's the access to equipment, then there's the knowledge base. We have classes, we have workshops, we have trainings. We're adding the creative trainers now. And then September 1st, we're actually also going to be introducing Discord. It's a popular server. We've actually created a server specifically for collective members so that they can network, communicate, promote each other. You can upload your own events and, have the group help you, because that's what this should be all about.
Coming back to synergy.
Yeah. For those that aren't familiar with Discord, it's a popular app that people use for gaming. It's similar to Slack, but there's so much more you can do on Discord. It's so much more robust. You can do audio calls. I think you can do video calls. Yep. All sorts of great things.
You can upload files, download files.
So it's really connecting the collective.
Really, absolutely. And what's really neat about it too is Discord allows you to have the different channels. So you can converse with people based on that channel. Like the channels that we've got set up are, general, lounge, suggestion box, promotions, events. On our, the staff side of it, we have a whole nother server set up for just internal communications. And for that, we've got things like staff meetings, minute notes, things like that. So like if somebody needs to ask me a specific question regarding collective audio, they would just go to the audio channel and talk to me on that channel. They can tag me in it by just doing the little @ sign, typing my name, and then I get a notification so that not everybody does. So it's changing the way that we internally are working here at the collective, and I'm really excited to see it change how we as a collective communicates.
That is awesome. So there's other things that you do in the community. So I know personally that the SDF Collective and Amee won the Gresham Chamber of Commerce Award for Best New Small Business for 2022, or is it 2023?
2023, yeah, this year.
So it was this year. And you have to be kind of special to get that kind of recognition. And for Amee to get it after 1 year.
Oh, we hadn't even been open a year. We had been open at 8 months when we won the award.
That's so awesome.
And it's the Gresham Chamber Business Excellence Award.
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
BEA.
Okay.
And I think the other chamber members have to vote on that too. It's not like just a random, right?
They have to be nominated.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We were nominated, and it doesn't have to be just chamber. It can be anybody in the community.
Oh, wow.
And I found out months after that we got that, it was actually, we were like the most nominated in any category.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome.
Because you came to town and you made a splash. So talk about
that's what
amplifying.
she's doing in a couple of days is a big splash day too.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going with this. It's like the collective is really becoming a cornerstone in the community for a place to gather, but also to promote other businesses, raise money for great causes, and just bringing the whole community together. And so talk a little bit about your vision of community involvement, because clearly you don't sleep at night. I mean, you've got to be the little engine that's
Fun fact,
doing something.
autoimmune diseases like having arthritis rheumatoid arthritis, you experience a lot of pain. So I actually don't sleep a ton. I mean, if I get 6 hours, I'm doing excellent. So normally I stay up and I learn languages or I read or, knock out a million projects. But that's my secret. That's how. So basically, I was taught a very long time ago that nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And for some reason, that stuck with me to the marrow. And because I do know a lot of things. I mean, I'm not being unhumble or anything, but I've spent my entire life working at gaining the knowledge base so that I can help people. And it's growing up with my disability, I've had so much help. It's really satisfying for me to be able to give that back in the way that I can. I may not be able to physically open a pickle jar for you, but I sure as heck can build you a very affordable website and throw a really kick-ass party. Okay? So my vision for the community is one that thinks of others before ourselves, that doesn't look for what I can get, but what I can give. Somebody that is willing to look at their neighbor, and even if they're having a really crappy day, don't go, that's cranky ass. Nothing like that. But just say, I wonder what's going on with her. I think she needs a hug. I've been known to literally text people like Starbucks gift cards, been like, you need this today. Go stop, take a minute, caffeinate. That's if I could have one thing for this community, is that we would stop thinking so much about ourselves. I mean, the world is not going to change until somebody is willing to take just a little bit less. Because this all free-for-all grabbing thing is just tearing everything apart.
Yeah, I love it. And this is kind of where Sarah and I have our mission on, aligning first. So really getting to know who you are, what your values are, and building that foundation from the inside in order to radiate it out. And that's the amplifying part. And I think that really is a testament to your vision and how you are operating and why you are experiencing the success that you have. Because, we're all sitting down, but Amy's just a squirt of a little lady. She's just, 5 foot nothing. And
on a tall day. That's if I'm thinking of really tall thoughts.
But she's got this huge heart. And she's a presence. She walks into the room and you radiate.
That's funny.
You're in the room.
Don't feel like that some days. Most of the time I'm like hobbling and I'm trying really hard not to hobble.
Well, and I've never picture like in my mind. So it's so funny. Everybody has like a height in my mind, but it's never their true height. And it's always funny when I realize how tall or short they really are. I'm like, I don't vision you that way. Like, I don't envision you as a short person. Like, you're the same height as me and I'm a tall person. Yeah. Like, Haley, you're the same. Like, it's really weird the way I am. And then when I realize someone's so short, I'm like, what happened to you?
Well, it's because you are fairly tall, but you also recognize energy of people.
Yeah.
And so your first vision of people is not the physical.
No.
It never has been. So, but yeah, you are a force to be reckoned with, Amee. And
I hope
and we
so.
love it because it's a force of good.
I hope so, because honestly, the world needs a lot more of less, and I feel like I excel at that. I don't need any more in my life, so I just give every ounce that I have to the rest of it. So, and I think that's kind of where Splash Day is getting a lot of its recognition right now, is because it's so funny. We've had so many people who have contacted us, and they're like, okay, so what is this event about? And we're like, nothing. It has no purpose. Like, there's no pot to put money in. There's no name that needs to be recognized. Like, this started because I just wanted to throw water balloons outside my business. That's
And
all.
we knew it would be warm.
Yeah, I mean,
you were hoping it'd be warm.
Well, and then, I was talking to Shannon over at the Center for the Arts, and she's like, it's a great idea. Let's shut down Main Street. And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. The neighboring businesses may not like it if their patrons are getting pinged with water balloons. And I thought, if kids fall, cement's not exactly the most forgiving. So we moved it to the plaza, and then people heard about it, and then it was like, it has literally gotten away from me. I'm going to be real honest. We got DJs there. We got burger joints coming in. We got Gresham Ford, Zipley, Clackamas County Bank, dozens of other sponsors. And, I mean, you're actually a sponsor too.
I'm going to be helping out,
Yeah,
I'm going to be there all day. I'm so excited.
It's going to be fun.
So by the time this podcast airs, it will already have occurred.
Yes.
But
it was awesome.
It was fantastic.
Oh, it is amazing. I can't wait to share it.
Tell me about October.
Yes.
Because this is the moment for you to promote what's happening in October, because this will come out before.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so another thing about me, as if there's not enough already, is, okay, I feel like everything about me has a story.
I'll start with the story. I come in one night to set up for my chamber meeting, and she's off there. She's painting these cages.
Oh, that's true. That was part of it.
Is that part of the October thing?
Yes, but that was actually, we were hired by the Gresham city of Gresham, for their Gresham Arts Festival. They wanted circus things, and they heard about my October event, and they put two and two together. So backing up just a hair, my niece graduated high school. We went to her awards ceremony, and there was all these awards for everything. It was like awards for debate, awards for this, awards for science club. There was an award for cooking. There was an award for choir. There was not a single award for anything arts related outside of theater and choir. None.
Oh.
No art, no makeup, no graphic design, no animation, no audio work, nothing in these high schools. And I was leaving the awards, and I looked over at my sister, and she looked at me, and she goes, did you notice that there wasn't a single award? And she kind of paused for a second, almost like she felt bad about saying this, and I cut her off, and I was like, no arts. This is crap, right? I walked away from there, and I said, you know what? We are going to start a scholarship for those that need it in the arts. Because that was what that award ceremony was. Mm-hmm. All the awards came with scholarship money.
Oh.
And so every year I host an annual fundraiser for our scholarship. It's called the Annual Creators Event. We usually host it around Halloween because, let's face it, Halloween is the bestest. So
it's our holiday.
Yeah, so really this scholarship is literally for anybody who's starting out. I don't care if you're 18 or 82. If you're a single mom and you want to buy your first laptop to learn graphic design on to bring in a little extra money, great. That's what, $2,500? If that's all it takes to change your world, come to me. I will help you. I do not care. Let's do this. And that's the purpose of it, is so that, again, people have access. And so, again, we moved into this space about a year and a half ago. Last Halloween, our annual creators event was a New Orleans bayou. We converted the entire 5,000 square feet into a bayou. We brought in hundreds of trees and cattails and ferns and pylons.
So cool.
Our set designer built these entire sets. One of our photo studios was a 360-degree interactive cemetery. We had bartenders, tarot card readers, a build your own spell jar room. We had, like I said, the interactive element. We had gone to the expo for curiosities and brought back so much taxidermied animals and animals in jars. It was really cool. And then this year, the one that you're referring to, we will be doing Carnival. We will have
I love it.
20-something plus carnival booths, concession stands, all custom-made games by tailor-made set designs. And, we will have, again, bartenders. This year we're doing something kind of cool. We're doing a VIP experience where you will get to not only have unlimited gameplay for those carnival booths, but you'll also have vouchers for all the concession stands to get snacks, and it comes with a one-on-one interaction with exotic animals. It's going to be really awesome.
What exotic animals?
Well, you have to come.
Oh my goodness.
You have to come and see the exotic animals.
I'm getting so excited right
Yeah.
now.
We've got fortune tellers coming. I mean, it is insane. We've got
Carnival.
yes. Well, one of our bartenders is actually a 3-foot tall bartender,
Oh, wow.
and he's being built a custom bar so that he can tend drinks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got
This is going to be great.
circus performers that are going to be there. It's going to be neato.
And so let me go back just really quick. So when you do this, this is to raise and promote money for scholarships for the arts?
Right, yeah. So that all the money from this event, all of it goes directly into a scholarship fund that we use to basically just forward to the people that need it.
So how do people get involved?
Absolutely. If anyone is interested in getting involved, they can contact me directly through the SDF Collective. You can go to sdfcollective.com, reach out to me through there. Or you can come in anytime you want. We are in downtown Gresham, 20 Northwest 3rd Street. We're open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we have an open door policy. So if it's hot outside and you just need to experience great AC, come on in.
Come in, ask for Amee, say I want to be involved with Carnival.
Yeah, I guarantee you I will be here. I'm here like 7 days a week.
And she really is.
It's ridiculous. Sunday was my day off, and I still came in because that was the day that we were doing some remodel.
Oh my gosh. I was super impressed with Amee the first time I met her, and now I'm like I'm still like, you're jaw dropping me today with knowing and understanding the vision behind all of the great work that she does. I mean, you have a heart of gold. You really do, and you're seriously one of the most impressive people I've ever met. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for that. Really,
make it count.
Any last words, Sarah, before we kick off here?
I just love the fact that you took something. I feel like you take something that you don't feel right about and you flip it around and you turn it around and you make it something really, really amazingly awesome. Anything. Like
that everybody wants to be involved with.
Every story I've heard, like your pain, you turn it into like a positive. Like, hey, I'm going to work all the time. I'm just going to learn all these things. You know, the fact that the arts scholarship didn't exist. Okay, I'm going to create every single piece you see the problem, and rather than sit and complain about it, you just, here's the solution, let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing.
That's amazing.
I didn't have a choice when it came to my arthritis. I was actually diagnosed before I turned 6. And I was actually one of the lucky ones I have it in every single joint in my body. So anything that bends, moves, articulates, anything, it's there. And I've chosen to go no medicine. So there's no relief. Now, I didn't choose the disability, but the rest of it is my choice, and it's my choice how I choose to handle it. And yeah, I could sit on a couch and I could complain, and nobody in their right mind would fault me for it, because the pain that I deal with on a day-to-day basis is unbelievable. I mean, I've literally had nurses that I've gone in for emergency surgeries, and they're like, why didn't you come in sooner? You must be in agonizing pain. And I was like, I thought this was normal. Like, this is, is this not normal, kind of a thing. And at the end of the day, that is what it means to be human. It is our choices. Mm-hmm. It's the choices that we make when we wake up. It is the choices that we make when we choose our food. It is the choices we make within business and family. Inherently, that has always been our number one rallying cry as a society all throughout history, is the right to choose. Why in the world would I squash that with a bad attitude when it's completely within my power to make it positive? It's all about how you look at things. And I can honestly give all credit to my father for that, because whenever I was young and my friends were doing something that I couldn't quite physically do, he would look at me and say, all right, let's make it happen. Like, I remember I was 16, I was taking my driver's test, and obviously one of the big things in passing that test is being able to turn on the car. I couldn't turn my wrist to turn the key. And I was devastated. I was so embarrassed. And a lot of it is embarrassment, especially when you're 16. The whole world is out to get you. He took me to Goodwill. We went to the silverware aisle. He said, pick out any spoon, any utensil you want. And I was like, I trusted him at this point because, I mean, he's genius with everything. And I picked out a really fun spoon. It had bumps on it, like Braille, and I liked the texture. He took it home. He drilled a hole in the handle. With a nut and a bolt, he screwed on the key, because at the time it was one of those old school keys, right? And when you put it in to the ignition, all you have to do is lift up on the spoon and push down.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love your dad.
And I swear it was that moment that I was like, I would have been like, I can't. And a freaking spoon literally made it so I could drive anywhere on the continent.
It turned your I can't into how can I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What can I use to get me to where I need to go? Seriously, sometimes it's a spoon that all that separates you.
And that's a life lesson for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, seriously,
Oh, yeah.
how can I make this happen?
And it's a choice. You can look for the opportunity, or you can sit and complain. What are you going to choose?
You probably have a ton to talk about energetically, and
This is
and
a
the law of
powerful one. Like,
attraction and
there is
everything.
no, like, I can't add to this. This
Well,
is a powerful first guest. Thank you, Amee.
I'll come back anytime.
We love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So please come in, check out the SDF Collective, meet Amee Curtis. You will not regret knowing her. She's amazing. What's your SDFcollective.com?
Yeah, it's SDFcollective.com, or conversely, it's SynergyDesignFirm.com. One of the two. You'll find me on either of them.
And get the contact. You'll click contact. It'll go directly to Amee, and then you're in her phone, and then you have direct contact with her all
It's
the time.
true. Everyone texts me all day long. I keep creative hours, so don't feel bad about texting me. It's fine.
I think you have to keep creative hours to be a creative. I feel like that's kind of the way it works.
I hope so. Otherwise, it's very
Yeah.
poorly named.
Well, anyway, I think that's going to be a wrap for now. Thanks for joining in with us, and keep coming back, because it's only going to. I mean, it's just we're going to figure it out. It's going to get better and better, and we're definitely going to have Amee back, because you just. Of course, you ended it with a whole conversation that needs to happen.
Well, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, definitely.
Cliffhanger. That's what I'm good at.
Excellent.
Okay.
So we're aligned to amplify. I'm Haley Lewis.
And I'm Sarah Garrison, and we'll see you next time.